Amazon Merch keeps running limited time deals and discounting t-shirts heavily, which is cutting into our profits. However, there is some tips and tricks that I've got and that I'm using to help increase my profits and kind of fight back against this loss of royalties. Tip number 1 is make sure that your regular sellers are priced at $19.99 or even above. And the reason I'm saying this is because those are the listings that are most likely going to get locked. I know sometimes, very random listings get locked that aren't even selling. That's happened as well. But obviously, the loss in terms of your profits is going to happen on your regular sellers if they get discounted during one of these limited time events. And if you already have your regular sellers priced really, really low, and they also get discounted, then you might get zero profits or zero royalties per sale, or a very, very small fraction depending on how heavy the discount is. So if you want to preserve some of your royalties there, make sure that at least your regular sellers that are bringing you most of the money right now are priced higher. I understand some of those might be locked already, but you want to keep an eye out until they get unlocked again, until you can make changes to them. I've had some items unlock recently and I was able to change the price, and if there's any regular sellers that haven't been locked yet, those are the ones that you want to get started with and reprice them to make sure that you don't get your royalties cut completely down to zero. Tip number 2 is making sure that your additional products besides t-shirts are priced very high. You don't have to set them to the max price for everything, but I've definitely done this in the past and I am going to do it more so now, where I would set, for example, the pillowcases to $44.99. I know it's a ridiculously high price, but the thing is, for me personally, pillowcases don't sell very often anyway, and even if they do get a sale, they usually don't sell again. Like, they just sell once or twice maybe, and that's it. So if I get a sale, I might as well collect the maximum possible royalty, or at least a higher one than like one of the lower prices. And you can get, and I have gotten, $20+ royalties for just one sale this way with the pillowcases. Another example would be phone cases. If you upload to those, I've got many sales with them priced at $29.99, which is the max price there, opposed to if you price them at $19.99, you just get like $3 or $4. So it does make a big difference and people are willing to spend it. I have had sales that way. Zip hoodies, again, I price those at the max, which is like a $7 or $8 royalty, I believe. So you have to get some extra royalties from your additional sales, and it's not as bad pricing these items higher because they're unlikely to sell a lot anyway. If you're running ads on Amazon, that I would consider slowing them down for highly discounted shirts. When I say slow down, I don't mean, cut your bid in half or, turn your budget all the way down. You don't want to go like too fast on this and potentially ruin the momentum of your listing. But especially if you have a listing that's priced down to like $15.29 is a recent sale price that I've seen where the royalty is very, very small. It's like $1 and change. In that case, if you have ad campaigns running for that asin and they're usually sitting like between 15 and 20% ACOS, for example, you probably want to slow down on the daily budget and the bids slowly. Just do it incrementally. Don't go huge, cutting it down all the way, and then watch the performance, see if anything changes and see if that helps you kind of squeeze out more profit. It's not just about the ads, obviously. Like if your ACOS is above the current break-even ACOS, you're probably also getting additional organic sales, so you want to consider that. But I think in general, if you've got running campaigns with fairly high bids that have like a 20% ACOS for listings that are heavily discounted, then slowing down a bit with those ads would help you get more profit. Tip number 4 is in relation to ads as well. Specifically, if you're testing new asins, I would be a lot more careful and turn them off sooner if they're not performing. For example, and this doesn't really matter if you're using a Logic campaign, an auto campaign for one asin, or if you're using a manual campaign and you're targeting keywords, products. In either case, you want to pay attention. And for example, if you usually wait until you reach 10 clicks for a specific asin or a specific keyword before you turn it off, now or during these heavy discounts, you might want to consider already turning them off at like 5 clicks with 0 sales. That will help you kind of stop the ads from eating into your profits. It would also kind of keep you on check more, because it happens to me quite often where I don't check the ads for a while, and then some of these asins, they might have already gotten like 15 clicks or 20 clicks without a sale. And obviously if you make your threshold lower, you're going to check more regularly and you're going to stop wasting as much ad spend on different asins or keywords that are just not performing. Another tip that I know I've mentioned quite a few times in the past, but this is more important than ever now if you've never tried it yourself, is please sell youth-sized shirts in the UK. It's literally the only marketplace where you can sell a t-shirt at $13.99 and collect a $4 royalty. And I'm not exaggerating, that's how it works if you sell something to kids in the UK, because there's no tax right here on youth-sized clothing. And it might seem counterintuitive to price something really, really low to increase your royalties, but it actually works in the UK. I sell so many shirts every single day. Some are even priced at $12.99, where I get like a $3 royalty per sale. And yes, you can also get sales if it's priced higher and then, you know, get a massive royalty for the youth sizing. But people are definitely more aware right here that kids clothing is cheaper. In most of the stores, it's very, very affordable. So they're not as open to spending, say, $16.99 on a t-shirt for kids if they can go to a local store and get something for $5 or £5, I should say. Basically, if you have designs that could work for kids in the UK, maybe do some research for it as well. What sells for kids in the UK? Throw up some new designs. Make sure those are listed at a low price. Like $13.99 is a good sweet spot because it's a decent royalty and it's fairly easy to get sales that way. And you can run ads as well, of course. Yeah, it's fairly easy to get those to work because you just have more royalties to work with. And the UK is the only marketplace where this rule exists. So if you haven't tried it yet, please try selling some kids clothing in the UK. It can really help increase your profits, and it has helped me for a long time. And even now, I'm making sure that all of these are priced lower so that I'm more easily getting sales with them. Speaking of pricing things lower, my number 6 tip is once again one that might seem a bit counterintuitive, but I've actually dropped the price of a lot of my listings recently, and they've helped me increase my royalties, which sounds strange, but hear me out. Basically, what I did is I went to my Pretty Much dashboard, to the analytics tab, and just went all-time bestsellers across different markets. And I scrolled through the list just looking at the designs, and I realized that some of these, whilst they used to sell for me in the past, I hadn't seen them in my dashboard for months. Some of them even like over half a year, over a year, they hadn't sold a single time, which in that case, it makes a lot of sense dropping the price. Most of these that had kind of lost momentum and stopped selling entirely, they had reviews, they used to sell well, but they were priced at the maximum or a very high price. And what I would do is just drop the price of these down to something very, very small, like $13.99 or in the UK, $12.99, and then just see what happens. Because for me, this helped me revive a lot of old sellers over the past month. I've seen a lot of designs sell again, which hadn't sold for me in months or even a year. Yes, it seems strange because you're not going to make a lot of royalties per sale, but if you think about it, you would rather make like $1 per sale than no dollars at all because the listing has stopped selling. And then after a while, if it's gained some momentum, sure, go ahead and raise the price again and see what happens. And you might have yourself another regular seller that you thought was already lost or that you had completely forgotten about in my case. So yeah, definitely go through some of your old listings. If you've been on Merch for a while, I'm sure you can find some that used to sell for you but don't do anymore. Drop the price, and I'm sure you can help revive some of them this way. Let me know in the comments what you are doing to help increase your royalties during these sale events. And if you want to see my full process, just check out this video right here where I walk through research, getting an idea, and creating the design, everything from start to finish.